Well, students, in the last lecture, we have started our discussion on discrete time martingale, where we have introduced conditional expectation with few examples. In this lecture, we will give the definition of martingale for discrete time process and discuss the fair game interpretation of martingale. We also give some examples and discuss few properties that are used in our future discussions. Let's start with the definition of martingale. A stochastic process Mk, generally we assume it as a discrete time process. In our present discussion, we assume that all these random variables Mk are defined on a probability space S F star P, where F star is a power set of S. We say that this stochastic process is a martingale with respect to a filtration Fk. The process Mk is adapted to Fk, and for each k equal to 0, 1, 2 up to n minus 1, given that all these random variables Mk have finite expectation and the conditional expectation of Mk plus 1 given Fk is Mk. Of course, as I told in the last class, whenever we talk about the conditional expectation, we always give the conditions which holds almost surely. And I also mentioned that we generally don't mention this explicitly, but just for the sake of clarity, I have mentioned it here, but I will avoid mentioning it henceforth. We also say in this case that the process Mk is a Fk martingale. In the first condition of the definition, you can see that we demand the process Mk to be adapted to the filtration Fk. I think we have not introduced the notion of adapted process to a filtration. Let us introduce this notion. A stochastic process Mk defined on a probability space S F star P is said to be adapted to a filtration Fk if each Mk is Fk measurable. Similarly, the process is said to be predictable by the filtration Fk if each Mk is Fk minus 1 measurable. I think predictability was introduced in our one of the previous classes, but we have not introduced adapted concept. That's why I have introduced it here. Let us see what they mean. We have seen that adapted means the random variable Mk is Fk measurable. So what it means, if you recall, any random variable is actually a real valued function from the sample set S to R, right? In such a way that you take any Borel set B in R and try to take the inverse image of that Borel set back into the sample set, it comes as an event in the sample set S. It means what? It is a subset of S, and it belongs to the corresponding sigma field, that is where the random variable is defined, right? If it is defined on the sample space S comma F star, then F star is the sigma field which consists of all the events, that is subsets of S, in such a way that this collection F star satisfies the conditions for sigma field, right? So we say that Mk is Fk measurable if this Mk is actually defined on S comma Fk. Okay, it means when you pull back any Borel set back into the sample set, it actually sits in Fk. Okay, since Fk is contained in F star, which we generally take as the power set, we can also say that Mk is a random variable defined on this space, that is S comma F star, but actually it is defined on S comma Fk in terms of information, we say that MK has much lesser information than what we initially assumed, something which has all possible information, whereas FK has more refined information. Okay. So when you say that MK is FK measurable, it means it is defined on this information. In other way of interpretation is you started from time t equal to 0, then you time t1, t2, like that you keep on going at tk minus 1, tk, and so on till time tn, which generally we take as capital T. So at every time level, okay, so you have certain information. Okay, when you are sitting somewhere in the time level which is less than tk minus 1, you don't know what is actually happening here or here. Say for instance, you assume that now we are in t naught, then obviously you don't know what is tk minus 1 and tk and so on. So this mk minus 1, mk, all these quantities can be interpreted as some kind of quantification of all possible outcomes at that time level. So when you come to this time level, actually tk, your mk will no longer be a random variable. You know exactly what event happened, okay, or what outcome happened can be precisely told at tk. Okay, that is what we meant by saying mk is a fk measurable. So this is a intuitive interpretation of fk measurability. Mathematically, it means this. That is, the pullback of every Borel set is actually an event in Fk. Although initially we claimed that MKs are defined on S comma F star, actually each MK is defined on SFK. That is what this means. And intuitively, it means that till time tk, mk is a random variable. Once you pass time tk, then we know all the information, what happened at that time, and therefore mk will no longer be a random variable from the time tk onwards. Okay, if you say that mk is fk minus 1 measurable, it means at time tk minus 1 itself, you know what is going to happen at time tk. So how it goes, every random variable mk is actually assigned to time tk only. When we say that mk is actually fk minus 1 measurable, it means by sitting at time tk minus 1, you will come to know what is going to happen at tk. That is what this means. That is, mk is fk minus 1 measurable means that. Okay, that is why we say that the process is predictable if mk is fk minus 1 measurable. It means you can sit at the time tk minus 1 and say what is going to happen at tk, then it is called predictable. Whereas the information mk will be known only at tk, that is mk is fk measurable only, then we say that it is adopted. So this is called adopted process, and in this case we call it as predictable. You can see that if you know the information about mk at time tk minus 1, that is if it is predictable, then that information is known at the time tk also, right? Therefore, it also is further measurable in fk. You can see that if mk inverse of any Borel set belongs to fk minus 1, and since it is contained in fk, it is also belonging to fk. Therefore, mk, if it is predictable process, it is also adaptable. Okay, but you can see that the converse is not true. Means if you know some information at time only tk, it doesn't mean you know at tk minus 1. You may not be knowing at tk minus 1, right? Therefore, adopted process need not be predictable, but predictable process is always adopted. In our past discussions, we have come across certain stochastic processes. For instance, the stock price process at every time t equal to tk, sk denotes the price of the stock, and it is known only at the time tk. At tk minus 1, we don't know this information. Therefore, it is only adopted but not predictable. Similarly, the value process is also adopted but not predictable. However, we have come across one more stochastic process, which is theta k. If you remember, this is nothing but number of units held in the risky assets in the portfolio pi k. If you remember, pi k is constructed at time t is equal to tk minus 1, right? Therefore, theta k is known at time tk minus 1. Therefore, this is actually a predictable. Hope that the concept of adopted and predictable processes for a given filtration is now clear. And therefore, the first condition of the martingale, that is the process mk is adopted to fk, is now clear what it means. So let's come back to the definition of discrete martingale and try to have a interpretation of the discrete martingale as a fair game. Remember, the fair game condition we have already come across while we were discussing or deriving the risk neutral probability while discussing the binomial lattice model for stock price. So the martingale condition so be interpreted in terms of fair game. So let's consider a gambler's game and try to see when a gambler will consider the game to be a fair game. Let us first interpret the process mk as the winning of a gambler at different time level. Therefore, mk plus 1 minus mk, that is the winning at tk plus 1 minus the winning at tk, can be interpreted as the gain accumulated during the period tk to tk plus 1, right? Since the process is adopted as per our first condition, we can see that mk is fk measurable. This may be interpreted as the information about all possibilities of mk, and therefore mk minus 1, mk minus 2, and so on in the backwards are included in fk. Let us assume that we are at time t equal to tk and a gambler would like to know the gain at time tk plus 1, right? Any gambler would prefer to know what will be the gain in the immediate future time so that the gambler can decide whether to go for the game which is initiated at time t equal to tk, right? If such a information is obtained, then it is not a fair game. That is, at time tk, if a gambler knows what is going to happen at tk plus 1, then such a game is not a fair game. So ideally, the gambler should not know this information, that is the gain, mk plus 1 minus mk, should not be known at time tk. Then we will intuitively accept that the game is a fair game. So therefore, your martingale condition should somehow give this. Let us see how it gives. So mk is a fk measurable. Therefore, the expectation of mk given fk is nothing but mk only, right? It means what? If you are giving the information of fk and then asking what is this random variable mk, I mean, it is already adapted to that information, right? So it should not change anything. So therefore, if you say that E of mk given fk, which is a random variable, and that should be simply the random variable itself. So that's the first observation. Second, by linearity condition of conditional expectation, you can see that E of mk plus 1 given fk minus, that is the expectation of mk plus 1 given fk. It means you are sitting at time tk, therefore you know all the information about the game happened till time t equal to tk. Now you are trying to ask what is the expectation on mk plus 1, that is the game which is going to start at tk and go till tk plus 1. What is the expected outcome of that? If you ask that, minus e of mk given fk. Okay, so linearity means you can just bring them together like this. E of mk plus 1 minus mk given fk. So you can write that like this. You can check this. E of x given f minus e of y given f is equal to e of x minus y given f. You can check this directly from the definition that we gave in the last lecture. So using the linearity condition, you can write this. Now you take the left hand side. Okay, the left hand side is having two terms. Look at the first term. The first term is simply mk because the process mk is a martingale. Therefore, by definition, that is the second condition of martingale, you know that E of mk plus 1 given fk is mk. And we have already seen that E of mk given fk is mk itself. Therefore, the left hand side is mk minus mk. That gives us 0. So it means what? Expectation of the gain accumulated during the period t to tk plus 1, its expectation given only the information till tk is actually 0. It means you don't have any information about the gain sitting at time t equal to tk with all possible informations about the game. You cannot predict what is going to be the gain at the next time level. That's what your martingale condition finally leading to. Okay, so therefore you can interpret the martingale definition as a fair game condition. Next, let us see some properties of martingale. First is the linearity property. Suppose we have two stochastic processes, mk and mk dash, both are fk martingale. Then amk plus bmk dash for any real number AB is also a fk martingale. I'll leave it to you to prove this. The second property is, let sequence mk be a fk martingale. Then for any j less than k, we have expectation of mk given fj is mj. This is quite expected from a martingale process. To prove this, we need a property called tower property of conditional expectation. Let us prove this tower property as a lemma and leave this property of martingale as an exercise. The tower property says that let x be a random variable on the probability space SFP, and let F1 is contained in F2 is contained in F. Then the tower property says that expectation of X given F2, that is the bigger among these two. You take this and then take the conditional expectation of that. Remember, this is a F2 measurable random variable. So once you have this random variable, you try to find the expectation of this given the smaller one, F1. That should be equal to expectation of X given the smaller one. That is what the tower property says. Let's prove the tower property. Let's take Y1 as E of X given F1 and Y2 is equal to E of X given F2. Then by definition, you can see that E of y1, the index function of a1, is equal to E of x index function a1 for all a1 belongs to f1. That is, I'm just putting the definition for the first one. And from second one, you can say that E of y2 index set a2 is equal to E of x index set a2 for all a2 belongs to f2, right? That is the definition for the second one. And now we are given that f1 is contained in f2. Therefore, a1 will also belong to f2. Therefore, E of y2 a1 index function is equal to E of x index function a1. They both are equal, right? So that is coming from the second one, and that implies E of y2 a1 is equal to E of y1 a1, because the right hand side of this and the right hand side of this are same. Therefore, you can make this. See, y2 is actually a f2 measurable function, and also f1 is contained in f2, right? So you can combine all this and see that y1 can be written as E of y2 given f1. That is because this is a, of course, a1 belongs to f1. This holds for all f1. Therefore, from here you can write this E of x given f1, and that is equal to E of y2 is E of x given f2, and that then this one given f1. So that is what we want to prove as tower property. So that we prove. Now use this tower property to prove the martingale property, which I will leave as an exercise. In our option pricing model, we came across two important processes. One is the stock price process, and other one is the value process. We'll now show that both these are FK martingale. Let's take up the first one, the discounted stock price process. We denote it by SK tilde, is a FK martingale with respect to the risk neutral probability measure. Let's see how to prove this. Let R be the prevailing interest rate, which is taken as per period. Per period here means Tk to Tk plus 1. Then you can write Bk plus 1. What is Bk plus 1? It is the price of the riskless asset, and that can be written as B naught into 1 plus R to the power of K plus 1. So therefore, if you recall, the discounted stock price is actually normalized stock price with normalization as BK. That is the price of the riskless asset at time t equal to Tk, and that can be therefore written as Sk divided by B naught into 1 plus R to the power of K. Remember, Sk is a Fk measurable random variable. Therefore, Sk tilde is also Fk measurable. Therefore, to show that the process Sk tilde is Fk martingale, we have to show that E of Sk tilde given Fk minus 1 is equal to Sk minus 1 tilde. This is what we have to show. So we will start with the left hand side, E of Sk tilde given Fk minus 1 is actually 1 by B naught into 1 plus R to the power of K into E. I mean, generally we denote the expectation with respect to risk neutral probability as E star. Therefore, let me put E star here. So E star of Sk given Fk minus 1. But if you recall from our previous lectures, E star of S star K given Fk minus 1 is nothing but 1 by 1 plus R into Sk minus 1 U, that is Sk star is basically Sk divided by 1 plus R, right? And what is Sk? Sk is a random variable which takes two values. One is Sk minus 1 U. This is when the stock goes upward, and that is with probability P star. And Sk has one more value, that is Sk minus 1 D, and that is when the stock goes downwards with probability 1 minus P star, right? And there is a 1 plus R here in the denominator, and that is how this term is defined. And this is nothing but E of, that is E star of Sk given Fk minus 1. So we can substitute this into this to get E star Sk tilde given Fk minus 1 is equal to, we can take Sk minus 1 outside divided by B naught into 1 plus R K into U P star plus D 1 minus P star. So Sk minus 1 divided by B into 1 plus Rk minus 1 can be written as Sk minus 1 tilde, and you are left out with 1 plus R here into U P star plus D into 1 minus P star. Now use the expression for P star. Again recall that P star is equal to 1 plus R minus D by U minus D, and 1 minus P star is U minus 1 plus R divided by U minus D. If you put this into this expression, we get U P star plus D into 1 minus P star is 1 plus R. This expression will simplify to 1 plus R, and therefore we are left out with E star of Sk tilde given Fk minus 1 is equal to, so if you put this 1 plus R here, you have Sk minus 1 tilde. So this means that Sk tilde is a Fk martingale. Remember, we have already shown that Sk tilde is a Fk measurable, therefore it is adaptive. And second condition is this, therefore the process Sk tilde, that is the discounted stock price process, is a Fk martingale.